Group 1 Intro to a Puerto Rico Local Clothing Brand/Enterprise.
Greetings everybody, my name is Raul and I'm going to be introducing what will be Group 1's members and which local clothing brand we will be talking about. I'm going to be starting with myself. Like I stated before, my name is Raul Bello and I'm from Fajardo. My major is chemical engineering. I'm 18 years old and you can probably tell I don't like doing this type of stuff, but it is what it is. Joining me in this presentation we have Sebastian Correa from San Lorenzo, majoring in industrial engineering, Marisabel Arzuaga from Juncos, studying enterprise administration, Edwin Cruz from Gurabo, studying enterprise administration, and Luz Casiano from Juncos, majoring in national commerce. So, with no further ado, let's get started with which local enterprise we have decided to talk about. Isleñas. Yes, you heard right, Isleñas. Who are these people, you might be thinking? Isleñas is a local Puerto Rican founded and owned footwear brand for women, manufactured and retail in our own island. This brand takes pride in their value per pricing, meaning you get just or maybe more than what you pay for. Sounds great, right? Well, that's not it. As their saying goes in their online website, tradition-inspired, stylish design, ethically made, modernly priced. Next up, group member Sebastian will be talking about this local brand's founder.
Thank you, Raul, for your very kind introduction. Now, everybody knows that an industry has a founder, and Isleñas is no exception. Its founder is none other than a Puerto Rican named Carla Lopez Rivera. Now, she was born and raised on Rio Piedras with a very wealthy family. In fact, her parents owned a pharmacy and a restaurant. But Carla wanted to study something else. You see, Carla's really interested into design, so she wanted to study that. Now, in order to achieve that goal, she needed to go to the US so she can go and study in the Rhode Island School of Design. After she finished with her studies, she decided to stay in the US to work for the model industry. But then, something changed. Now, when she started working for Tom Shoes when they were just beginning, she fell in love with shoe design. In fact, her love for shoe design grew so big that she even moved to Italy to get a master's degree for shoe design in a very prestigious institution in Florence. So, after she finished her studies there, she wanted to continue her shoe designing business. Now, she wanted to come back home to Puerto Rico and start there, but sadly, the shoe industry is basically non-existent there. So she resorted to move back to New York, where it was much easier to make a shoe business. In her life in the Big Apple, she's been working with a bunch of different types of designers, both big and small, one of which was none other than a Puerto Rican designer named Isa Tapia. Now, even though she was doing really fine back in New York, she always felt like something was missing, and that thing was none other than her home island, Puerto Rico. She desperately wanted to come back to the island, but she didn't know how to come back while still keeping her shoe business. But then, something happened that will change her life forever. You see, back in 2017, the island of Puerto Rico was about to get struck by the biggest storm it had in years. Hurricane Maria. The storm devastated the island and many of its inhabitants. Because of that storm, there were a lot of people who have lost everything. And when Carla heard the news, she just had to come back and help somehow. So she hurried back to Puerto Rico to help with the reconstruction of the island. And she knew exactly only one way she would help: shoe designing. She knew that this was the only way she could bring back this shoe industry in Puerto Rico, and she decided to stay in the island just to ensure that it grows. Now, on her quest to bring back the shoe industry in Puerto Rico, she managed to get accepted on a program called Pre-18, Pre-18 is a preparation program made by International Parallel 18 after pass of the hurricane, and was specifically made to help small businesses flourish on the island. Now, after Carla made it to Puerto Rico, she decided to come in contact with Retazo, created in 2017 by a group of entrepreneurs whose missions is to help the growth of fellow designers that have the potential to manufacture in the island itself, which is the case for Isleñas. Through Retazo, Carla Lopez Rivera managed to associate herself with the Sora Isolina Ferrer de Camito Center to create a small espadrille shop with the purpose for training seamstresses. There, she's helping them with machines and is using her community to train them and to employ said seamstresses. Now, why espadrilles, you may ask? Well, there was different reasons why she decided to start making them. For one, the amount of money needed to create them is far less than it's needed for other types of shoes, because it's a shoe that can be made by hand and without the need of complicated machinery. And those types of shoes are both culturally connected to Puerto Rico. Plus, it's the perfect shoes to wear in a tropical setting. Now, when making different styles, she inspires herself with all the trips she's made and all the conversations she's had with different women that express their needs when choosing their shoe of choice. Because of that, she has been able to make slight changes in her design and make them more accessible, like giving them a wide variety of colors and making them water and dirt resistant. This next segment will be covered by my dear partner Marisabel, who will now give you more information on the actual industry itself. Going to you, Mari.
Thank you, Sebastian. So, let's talk about a little on Isleña's history. Isleña, a company launched in 2019, was established and manufactured in Puerto Rico by Carla Lopez Rivera, looking to revive Puerto Rico's struggling economy after the devastating events of Hurricane Maria. Inside a factory house located in Caimito, Puerto Rico, is where all comes to life. With her team, 2 sewing machines, and a blanket stitch machine, we can find the colorful and comfortable espadrille sandals being stitched and properly done by Caribbean hands. Some of her employees have been struggling to find work since they lost their jobs in the 1980s and 1990s. When the large garment factories in Puerto Rico closed. The name of the company, Isleña, came to life after Carla's friend and mentor, Michelle Perez Kenderich, suggested Carla the current name of the company. She feels that the name gives people a perspective and the vibes of her company. They have partnered up with another circular fashion platform called Retazo, and the educational and healthcare non-profit organization Centro Sor Isolina Ferre to design and implement a training and manufacturing programs that is providing opportunities for underrepresented women and communities in Puerto Rico. So, if you really want to look good, feel good, and do good, I say you give an eye on the site. You will get high quality products made in Puerto Rico by Puerto Ricans. I promise won't be disappointed. Let's hop on to Edwin, who is going to talk about how this little company has evolved and touched millions of people all around the world.
Thank you, Maribel, for your amazing presentation. Now, as my partner just said, I will be talking about the evolution of Isleñas. Isleñas came to life after Carla heard about the infamous Hurricane Maria that hit Puerto Rico in 2018. Thankfully, Carla already had experience in the shoe business when she started working with the now famous Tom's Shoe Company. When she started working for them, they were still a very small company, and what she loved most about Tom's was their 1-for-1 policy, which meant that for every pair of shoes sold, they would get a pair to the less fortunate. Just like Tom's, Carla chose to start her company by making espadrilles, which are light canvas shoes with a plated fiber sole. Espadrilles don't only look good, they are also very fashionable and comfortable. Espadrilles aren't a foreign product either, since they were worn by many of our people and Latin Americans around the world. Carla chose to do this type of shoe, especially because they are very easy and cheap to make. They require very little tools and very little training. What makes Isleñas espadrilles especially different than others is that they are completely handcrafted in a small yellow building in San Juan by a small group of 5 people, and since it's the 21st century, the shoes are made from high quality leather and have memory foam soles in them. Thanks to their great success, Isleñas has been featured in the New York Times along with other small companies from our country. They were also featured in the Rhode Island School of Design magazine and even made it onto Dwell magazine. And now I will leave you with Luz, who is going to conclude with this presentation.
Conclusion. Isleñas is one of the few local brands Puerto Rico offers, since like we mentioned before, it has been non-existent in the past. Carla has been in a way for Puerto Rico entrepreneurship. By keeping their footwear styles simple, Isleñas has the option to be both affordable and stylish for every woman in the Caribbean. In addition to creating employment and participating in programs to help those in need. Carla is a great example for every female out there, showing that whatever you set yourself to do, can be accomplished with just enough passion. We invite you to go ahead and take a look in their site, and see all they have to offer. You might even end up buying something. From Group 1, this is the end of our presentation. Thank you for your attention and good luck in yours.